We're delighted to be joined by women's head coach Marc Broom, back at training. First things first, everybody's back. How good is it to have everybody back, and what's the mood like around the group?
Mate, it's brilliant to be back. It's actually exciting to be back knowing we've got a full winter this year. So we've got 95% of the squad are here with us now, over a Wednesday or a Sunday. So a lot of them can't make a Wednesday and they can come on a Sunday because they're at uni or at work and so forth, or at school. So we get at least 4 hours a week with everyone, and we get 8 hours a week with some, which is fantastic. We even get 10 hours a week with others that can come to a one-to-one during the day or during the week. So it's brilliant to be back. It's exciting to be back. The girls are keen. Coaches are keen. Real good time.
Excellent. You've had some time to take stock and look back at the first season in Tier 2. What a year it was. Women's blast winners, semi-finalists in the One Day Cup. What have you made of it all?
It's tough, isn't it? Because it was a fantastic season. You know, in more ways than just winning games of cricket. You know, if I'm honest, winning games of cricket wasn't our key goal. It was about developing a squad, creating a squad that can progress on to 2026, find their feet a little bit more, understand the game a little bit more, what's needed at specific times of the game and so forth. But they actually got put in situations last year that we weren't expecting, and it was brilliant to see because they had to find ways out of it, and they did. They got a couple of things wrong. They then went away, reflected, and got it right next time. You know, something that was so impressive for us as a coaching unit to see was that nobody in the squad made the same mistake more than twice. Now that for me just shows pure development. So they could see the mistake, they could embrace it, they could identify what they needed to do, and then they could kick on. Now what resulted in that was winning games of cricket, you know, and they won a lot. You know, they played some great cricket, they had some fantastic battles. It's tough to say that we were the best team in the country, but we were close to it. But there were periods where we were outplayed, completely outplayed on the pitch. But we managed to find a way to crawl it back, steady the ship, and then go. And that was key for me to see that. That's probably one of my biggest takeaways. Brilliant to win the T20, brilliant to come first in the league, and then obviously go and do the playoffs. But that was my biggest takeaway, is that we found ways to win games of cricket when maybe we shouldn't have done. And that's, if you're going to be a successful professional team, that's what you need to do. So as an overall season, there's so many things that make it successful, not just the winning, but so many other things. Yeah, really good for year one.
Excellent. 3 players that stood out and won end of season awards were Saskia, Artemis and Izzy. 3 outstanding cricketers who showed consistently what they can do. It must have been really exciting to see them evolve over the course of the summer.
Yeah, you know, I mean, those 3 stood out probably across the season. Other players stood out at key times. Saskia taking on the leadership of the team, being the most experienced player, having played professional cricket, there was a lot of responsibility on her shoulders, and I think she felt responsibility on her shoulders as well at times, but I thought she dealt with it brilliantly. I thought she led the team superbly. She's got the respect of her players, and she's got the respect of the management staff. Now, if you've got that, you make the job your own, and I thought she was brilliant. She challenged me at times. I challenged her at times. We ended up coming to great agreements and saying, all right, you go with your one and I'll go with my one, you know. Artemis is an exciting, fantastic talent. She's only been playing the game for 3 years. Now, to come and do what she did this last season, from a batting perspective, is exceptional. And she only wants to get better. She only wants to work harder. So she is an exciting talent. You know, she's an unbelievable fielder. She changed so many games just in the field, quite unnoticed, because she just does her job. She's going to develop her leg spin, become a multi-skilled cricketer that has a desire to succeed and wants to achieve the highest she can. So she's a real key young talent for us. And Izzy, she's almost like experienced campaigner now. She's been around a long time, just goes about her business, does the thing. But she's a key player in the side, absolute key player in the side. And historically, she's someone who was known as, she can bat for long periods of time, she can hold up an end and so forth. But there's so much more to her game. And this year she showed that. She can attack from the start with proper cricket shots. She can run hard between the wickets. She gets mocked all the time about her fielding. She took 4 catches in one game. She changed the game in the field. And that's key for us. You know, I want the team to know there's more to their game than just what they're labelled as. And I think they're starting to get an appreciation for that. So hopefully that can develop along with their skills and their understanding of what they're doing.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, great insights to all 3 players there. You touched on it at the start of that answer, that it was more than just those 3, the whole team. It was a whole team effort. And the really pleasing thing for you must have been that every player did stand up at some point and go, I'm going to take this game and I'm going to make an impact and really, really make their mark on it. It must have been really, really pleasing for you to see.
Yeah, every player at certain times earned the right to be part of this squad. Now, and it is a big squad. And for most of the season, we kind of worked on a rotation basis. But at times we said, right, we're going to pick the best team, which means 8 of you are going to be upset. 8 of you are going to be disappointed. But the 12 or 13 we picked for match day have got responsibility. You've got to go and play as a team, work it out as a team, identify your role within that team dynamic and perform. And they did. I mean, for me, the standout performance with the bat was Pippa. We had so many performances with the bat from other players. It sounds a bit harsh to mention just one, but Pippa's knock against Yorkshire when we were 35 for 5, and she went in and ended up 98 not out, taking us through roughly 35 overs of cricket with our 8, 9, 10 jack batters, who in themselves played an unbelievable support role to her. The way she conducted her innings, the way she soaked up the pressure, the way she stabilised the innings, and then the way she attacked towards the end. It wasn't an innings of someone I would expect who's 16, 17 years old. But it just shows the talent, unbelievable talent that she is, and how lucky we are to have her. But I could go through the whole squad and talk about times when they changed the game for the positive. And that's what we need. There's 11 players on the pitch that can do that.
100%. I mean, we can park last year for now, and the extraordinary year that it was. Obviously, we won a lot of cricket, and with that, especially in year 1 of a kind of a cycle as such, how important is it that the group don't become complacent, and how do you, as a coaching group, make sure that they stick with it and can keep going into next year?
It's a brilliant question. I don't feel this group would be complacent at any time, to be honest. Having seen how they go about their business, what we've got now is a period of training where all they're doing is working on their skills. There's no bat v ball. We've already said we're not going to be doing bat v ball till probably February next year, because there's elements of their game that need to be harnessed, need to be worked on, need to be developed, need to be improved. There's strengths that need to become even stronger. And we need to make sure that we fine-tune our skills to make sure we go out next year and we're better than we were last year. We continue to do the good things well, but we find ways to improve on the areas of development. And they've embraced that already. And that's key, absolute key. And I love the fact they do that. I really do. We haven't gone out and celebrated and had photos with the cups and all that sort of stuff. That's not the way this year was going to go. That's not the way it's going to be moving forward. We had a job to do. We surpassed our expectations, but we still had a job to do. We now have a job to do through the winter to ensure that next year is as successful, if not more, than this year from a development perspective and a results perspective. We have to then make sure that 2026 winter, we go through the same process to ensure 2027 is a better year, and we have to keep going around in that circle until we become pros. And then it starts again. And then we've got an even bigger challenge. But I'm not worried about complacency. I am mindful that they start putting performance pressures on themselves that possibly aren't quite achievable. And that's something that between the coaching staff will monitor and make sure that our expectations are where they need to be right now. Apart from that, it's last year's done, next year's coming. We're here in the winter. This is our controllable, and we crack on.
Absolutely, and you said here, we are here at Finchley. Training has started, it's going on behind us. What is the plan between now and Christmas, and then from Christmas on to the start of the season? What's the...
They've actually just finished their their physical block. So we started 15th of October. They had a 4-week physical block where there was no cricket. It was just conditioning, strength, and getting them prepared for the winter ahead. They had a nice 3-4 weeks off from the environment. Came back in. It was a hard physical block, and they approached it brilliantly. We now go into about 8 weeks of skills, where they'll come in twice a week and they're one-to-ones. And primarily they're working on first skill only, and it will be very technical based, and we'll draw out all the fundamentals of what it is they do as their first skill for this team and how we can make that the best it can be. And then we'll reassess when we come back just after Christmas, and we'll kind of work individually as to whether we need to kick on with that person, keep going with the fundamentals with that player, and so forth. So by the time we get to, hopefully by end of Jan, start of Feb, they're ready to go into more of a bat v ball competitive environment, but delivering the skills that they've worked on over the previous couple of months. And then by the time they finish that, we'll be in the tent at Merchant Taylors, and then we'll be outside, and off we go.
Sounds good. One last one before we wrap things up. We had Guy Gollet and Fenty Truster out in Brazil with MCC. Yeah. How pleasing is it for you to see our girls out playing representative cricket and really showcasing their skills on a global stage, if you like, or around the world?
That's our job. Our job is to try and make them the best players that they can be at this time. And if it means that a Tier 1 team comes in and signs them and takes them away, obviously we'll be gutted to lose them, but that's the progression. And you go with our blessing. If MCC want to come in and take them to Brazil, please take them to Brazil, because they'll learn stuff. It's a new environment, new experiences, new players, new coaches, new methods. Any new environment they go in, one, they showcase what they've learned at Middlesex, but two, they learn from people around them that our experiences might not be able to give them. So the fact that people outside are looking in on what we do and thinking, oh, we like that player, we like what Middlesex is doing, they can add to our environment, take them all. Absolutely take them all. I think it's brilliant for them, it's brilliant for the team, it's brilliant for the club that we're getting exposure outside of these 4 walls. I think it's brilliant. So yeah, the more the merrier.
Absolutely. Well, Broom, that all sounds extremely positive. Thank you for giving us your time, and we'll catch up with you soon, no doubt.
Lovely. Cheers.